It's time to pop the top off with Pub Talk today. We have the divisional round recap. We're going to talk about the coaching carousel going on right now for the NFL. We're going to drink some beers for you. We have 3 for the show. And we have Hops of the Week to finish us off. But before we get to all that, Pub Talk is brought to you by Route 11 Chips. Football season is still here. We only got about 3 weeks left. But these weekends coming up are going to be about sitting on the couch, watching some great football, and eating some chips. And Route 11 is at the ready. Since 1992, Route 11 has been chipping away to give its consumers a great and tasty product. So make sure you check out your local Martin's, Food Lion, and Giant to pick up a bag today. Okay, lights, beer, action. Welcome back, everybody. The top has been popped off.
I already
Divisional
opened up my can,
weekend
too. Sorry.
is in the books. Shut up! Divisional weekend is in the books. Notorious Vig, welcome back.
Always a pleasure.
You weren't here last week to cry with me, though.
Nah, I know. Sorry, I had some prior commitments, but I'm still...
Bullshit.
I don't. That was a heartbreaking loss to see, but also, like...
Just to watch.
Whatever.
It was, but at the same time, and CJ and I talked about this, it was just like this freaking crowning event on a season that started out so promising and then was destroyed by freaking injuries and just...
And now they are cleaning house.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw everything that
freaking
happened
Matt
in
Canada,
days.
the new OC.
I'm a fan, but we'll talk. When we get to the coaching changes, I'll bring up my point as to why I think it starts with assistance, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I don't think it's 100% Tomlin. I just completely disagree that it's been Tomlin this whole time. Because, sorry about that. And then, on the other side of the table, Pat, welcome back.
Yay.
I know it's been a little bit. I haven't taught football all year. I'm just happy to be here.
We brought beer onto the show.
He's literally in
Now
the
that
house. He's in the house and he's back on the show.
He lives here.
I know.
And
He's in the house. That's what I said.
And first time, and
the first
It's
time
been a
this
couple
year.
months.
I think I've been here more than
Yes.
Pat.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said,
Yes,
I
you
haven't
have.
been on all year, and I'm like, it's only January. I don't know what the hell you mean.
And then I wanted to throw my hat at him and tell him to shut up. But
It's the truth, though. You just don't say it like that. All right. Divisional round.
Yes, it is. Divisional
Okay,
round.
it's done and dusted. The 4 teams are set for the championship. One's going to play for the George Halas Trophy. One's going to play for the, I forget the other name, trophy.
something Hunt.
Lamar Hunt.
Lamar
Lamar
Hunt.
Hunt.
Yep,
Yeah.
there you go. I forgot the other name.
Good one.
And then the winners of those get to go to the Super Bowl. And hey,
Do you
my
know that
prediction,
name? Do you know what that name is?
Lombardi Trophy.
Okay, just making sure.
But hey, the championships are set, and my prediction that I've been saying is still probably true right now
Could be.
is Bucks Bills. I'm saying like Bucks Bills, it could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Now anyway, we're gonna start at the top though of the divisional round. The first game, Rams Packers. Listen, I know I said I was calling for the Rams to give them a showing, and like, look, their defense can hold up, but dude, I give up now. Devontae Adams is the real fucking deal.
Yeah, he is.
He literally does not care who is up against him, and on top of that, Aaron Rodgers doesn't care who you are either, because right now, I don't want to say that like the Rams play bad, but I will say when your defense did get multiple stops when it needed to.
Yep, they did.
Oh boy, you have to score points.
Mm-hmm.
You have to score.
You know, you talked about Devontae Adams. You know, he had nine catches, and while his yardage isn't like astronomical yardage, I don't think he had 70 yards receiving. those are possession receptions that get you to first down, to get you to move the sticks and keep going, and that's what he does because he is so hard to freaking cover. And I thought Ramsey would be up to the task to lock him down.
It's not even just him, man. Like the two other receivers that they have in Valdez, Scanling, and Lazard.
Yeah, Lazard.
Are just so hard to cover with him in the pocket.
I mean, Lazard catches that 58-yard bomb. I mean, what the hell? I mean, you know, those are hard to recover from, man. Those are freaking. They take the wind out of your sails on defense, and you're like, Jesus, what do we have to do?
Us, and you just
right,
did that
and they
so easily.
and they just freaking drop a bomb on you, and that's hard to do.
Well, I think it starts with the run game. I mean, they got a three-headed monster.
Yes.
Not one, not two, but three backs.
And it's usually not Dillon who takes over, but he did this game.
Well, A.J. Dillon he didn't have that many yards.
I know, but he was still there when they needed
The big
him.
one was Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was freaking 99 yards, 100 yards rushing. Hey, it doesn't matter. You got a three-headed monster, and that's tough to slow down.
Now I will say this, that like next week they're going to go up against the number one run defense in Tampa, who I don't know
Who
how
shut
they'll
down?
play.
Well, we'll get to it, but you know, you look back at oh shit, it just completely blew my New Orleans and how they slowed down the most dynamic freaking back in the backfield and out of the backfield for the pass catching thing, or for pass catching yardage, and they limited him. And so,
well, here's another thing too, and this is something that I was talking to CJ about. Was we talked about Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams, but that freaking offensive line was incredible. They could not mess up. Period. I mean, when all three of your running backs have over 4 yards a carry, that's hard to beat. Aaron Rodgers wasn't sacked all night.
Nope. And that's the key to beating them. It's a key to beating any team is to pressure your quarterback, and because Rodgers isn't going to throw a pick. That's just not what he does. He'll get rid of the ball
when you're winning the line of scrimmage and you can't touch the NFL future probably MVP. I mean, it's going to be a long night, boys. Aaron Donald can't do it himself. He's a freak. Don't get me wrong.
And he wasn't 100% either playing in that game.
But when he's still getting double teamed, and this is something that I also talked about with you, was you get those one-on-one matchups, and if you don't take advantage of those, Rodgers is going to pick you apart.
Yeah.
There was an absurd stat that Stephen A. Smith shared about Aaron Rodgers, and I had to look it up again. But he's thrown double-digit interceptions twice in his career. The first year, 2008. The next year, 2010. After that, everything's under 8 picks.
Yeah, and he averages like 40 touchdowns a season.
He's thrown 412 touchdowns to 89 career interceptions.
Yeah, and what's crazy is
that's insane.
I know, but he's still like 180 some odd touchdowns behind Breeze and Brady, which goes to show you what they've done in their careers. And he's at the tipping point of his. He's still got 5-6 good years left in him at 40 freaking touchdowns per year. That's fucking 200 plus touchdowns. He's going to break the record.
Let's also not forget that Rodgers was injured for a time being.
Yeah. I think it was his calf. He had a calf injury one time.
That's averaging 5 to 1.
Yep.
5 touchdowns for everyone.
There's no doubt about the fact that he's good. And he gets the Rodgers rate. He gets that freaking deal.
Yeah.
Freaking Rodgers
Did that
rate
come
for
down yet?
State Farm. Yeah. But when you look at the Rams, Jared Goff did not play that bad. I mean, considering he had 3 pins in his freaking finger.
He was 21. He was 21 of 27.
Yeah.
174 and a touchdown, but he was sacked 4 times.
Yeah, that's not him. He can't freaking block and throw.
Cam Akers had 90 yards rushing.
And Cam Akers was freaking toting the rock.
So, I mean,
I think his longest pass was like 25 yards or something like that. The longest play, receiving yards, was 25 yards.
So that's a great sign for Tampa Bay, though. I mean, if you can be efficient passing the ball, and they showed that they could run the ball against the freaking Saints.
Yeah, they did. They ran the ball well.
So I think Green Bay's going to have a handful next week.
I mean, was Aaron Donald healthy?
No.
I
don't
think so.
That's the other key factor. A healthy Aaron Donald he significantly changes games.
Yeah, he can.
Yes.
He can. I mean, we're not talking Lawrence Taylor changed the game, but you had better devote at least 2 guys to him.
It's still get irritated by that comparison to he's one of the greatest to ever do it, and I go, you don't have a nickname called Minister in your name. You have never been an MVP as a defensive player, and the only one to ever do
I don't understand who's comparing him to LT. I mean, they're two different positions.
I
Yeah,
get that,
completely.
though, but
I think
people
that the impact of that player on defense and what you have to do to account for him. But nobody, you just, I don't know. Reggie White came along after Lawrence Taylor, and Lawrence Taylor was the guy to impact coaches and teams with, you had better account for this dude or he's going to ruin your day. He's going to ruin your day, period.
I mean, I think it comes down to, there was no pass rush.
You also,
Right, I think so.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's the difference.
You got to
in the
hand
game.
it to Green Bay's freaking offensive line. They were so efficient. They freaking managed. And shit, the Rams just didn't look like the Rams defense. They didn't. And when you
can against Rodgers.
yeah, but I mean,
But your back end can't hold up when you're not winning the line of scrimmage. You
Right.
know,
Right.
they can only hold up for so long.
right, yeah. It's a closer game without the last touchdown. It's a pretty close game. I mean, you're 25-18. That's freaking a touchdown. There's only difference. There's only a score difference there, and you put it on Jared Goff, and Jared Goff doesn't have a perfect hand, and your defense isn't quite getting it done, and you're like, the Rams were just barely hanging in there. I don't. Could they have beaten Rodgers? I don't think so. Not at this time. Not on Saturday. They were not better. They were not the better team. The better team won.
I had no
Period.
I had no idea that this was going to be Aaron Rodgers' first NFC Championship game at home in Lambeau. I had no idea. I thought it was more.
No,
No.
because
You know?
the last time they were this good was 2011 when he had his first MVP season, and guess who came into Lambeau and shocked him in the divisional? The Giants. That was back when they were having one of their seasons where, oh boy, Eli's turning into playoff Eli again. And
I had no idea until someone read that stat.
then in 2014, you had the Des Bryant non-catch issue in the divisional.
Yeah.
And then you had the choke of the century the following week by the Packers against the Seahawks. Remember, the onside kick that was literally wide up in the So, Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't had a home playoff game. Number one, because I don't want to say he's never gotten the chance to, but because his team has just not let him get to that point.
Right.
And now he does have one, but it's going to be against the GOAT.
But he's got to get through the GOAT.
And now he's got to get through the GOAT. And I know people say, why? He has to go through Rodgers. He's better right now. It's it doesn't matter. This dude has won 32 playoff games, okay?
He's been in 41 fucking postseason
This is
games.
his 14th championship game.
Yeah.
And if he goes to the Super Bowl again, it'll be his 10th.
Well,
Count it, 10th.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
All right, second game.
I would just say this.
Okay.
I'll just say this. Brady in the playoffs has 11,000 yards passing. He has almost 80,000 yards for a career. 80,000 yards in a career. And 11,000 of them come in the playoffs in 41 fucking games. And don't tell me about Cold. He played for New England. Cold's not going to affect him. Cold is going to affect guys like playoff Lenny, guys who played in Florida, guys who are just not used to this. And that's going to be the tipping point. But we'll get to that later. We'll get to that.
All right. Second game. The game that made me happier than
Oh.
ever.
Yes.
I guess it's just for me, the Bills-Ravens game. Sure, it's not high scoring. But as I said when I made this prediction, if the Bills can win this game, I think they will go to the Super Bowl, because it was the game that, earlier in the season when you played against Tennessee and you played against Kansas City, your run defense was awful, and you couldn't tackle jack shit. Well, in this game, Lamar wasn't going anywhere. And neither was Gus Edwards, and neither was J.K. Dobbins. They weren't going anywhere. Justin Tucker was also missing everything.
Holy
He's
cow.
Mr. Automatic.
He was Mr. Automatic, and he licked a giant nuts.
Two in
He
a
was
row.
I saw him singing.
He's
Inside
never.
50
He has
yards.
never, ever missed 2 kicks in a row ever.
Inside 50 yards,
They
too.
should restructure his contract right away, and tell him not to be singing freaking operas anymore. Just kick the ball for us. That's what you get paid to do. You get paid way more kicking a football than you do singing operas. So
When he missed the first time, I'm like, okay, it's windy.
Yeah,
I'll give him
and
a
it
chance.
was-
When he lined up again, I'm like, this dude doesn't miss. He missed. He missed again.
And the
Holy
look on
crap.
his face
He
too.
was
He
like,
got,
what the fuck just happened?
We're not supposed to win. Singing friggin' opera shit. I don't know why I'm hung up on the opera shit, but
But anyway, I want to say that, like, the Lamar going out with a concussion. I mean,
hey, I thought great first half though. Great first half. I mean, it was a 3-3 game.
It was hard nosed, freaking back and
it
forth.
was. You know,
but that's what I wanted to see out of Buffalo.
But that's what you
that's what,
expected.
and
to
that's
see
you
that.
needed to see Buffalo, like you were leaning towards. You needed to see Buffalo get over the hump rather than what we saw before with Josh Allen, like deer in the headlights, going, "Holy shit, what do I do now?" kind of thing. He was completely. I would just say cool, calm, and collected. He was ready to make plays.
And then, you know,
He's earned his
having
spot.
Diggs on that team, I don't know what it is, but
They got swagger with him.
Eight.
He brings swagger.
8 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown.
Hey, all I know is Kirk Cousins ain't throwing passes.
I was just about to say that. Think about it. When Minnesota had a little swagger, Diggs was on that team. I mean, granted, he stayed at home, played at Maryland, didn't have very much production because he had shitty quarterbacks. But I mean, he's got some swagger to him. He's got that cockiness you need from the wide receiver spot.
it made me so happy seeing him basically dice up Marcus Peters. It made me.
yeah.
I'm
But
more
still,
happy than
I know
anything
that
to
everybody
see
gets
that.
on, but Marcus Peters is fucking good.
I never said that he's not
Marlon
good.
Humphrey,
I know.
their whole secondary is
their
fucking
whole
good.
their whole
I never
secondary.
said
Like,
that he's not
But
good,
if you look at
I don't-
Josh Allen's stats, it was not a great day for him. It
But it
wasn't.
doesn't matter for him because you said last year he looked like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
This year he doesn't give a fuck. He says, "I will yuck this ball."
But he made the throws he needed to make to win the game.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what it
so.
comes
I
down
think
to.
so. He made some big throws, but when you have guys like Diggs making catches on the sideline, you're like, holy shit, he just saved that play. What's his name? Cole Beasley.
He didn't
have a single catch. He didn't have one catch. It was
I
like
think
he
he's
was
dinged up too.
Yeah, I think so too, and they just kind of used him as a freaking hey, we're gonna freaking have you cross the formation, and then we're gonna freaking squirrel you out in the flat, and we're just gonna open up a lane so we can throw to somebody else because he was not healthy either. Here's my whole thing, and CJ and I were talking about this. How many times did they run the ball in the first half, CJ?
0.
Maybe 2 times in the first half.
Josh Allen was the leading rusher at one
So
point
they
for 4
had
yards, right?
So they had a scramble,
Right?
which counts as a rush, and then they had one run play called.
I think
They ran the ball twice.
I think they were
Devin
waiting.
Singletary had 7 carries. TJ Yeldon had 2. Josh Allen had all the others. They had 9 running back carries. 9 running back carries for 29 yards. You will not beat Mahomes and the freaking Chiefs doing that. You're not going to beat them doing that.
Well, I don't know what their philosophy or what they were seeing on film, but what the hell?
Yeah, that's what that adds up to 3 points at the half. That's what it adds
And
up to.
10 points in total. Just one of the 7 was a pick 6.
Yeah. So you're not beating Kansas City at home in that situation.
Now
you're not
Baltimore
beating
has a better defense than Kansas City does, but
them. Okay.
but
But you're not beating Mahomes, and I'm still saying Mahomes is going to play. And we're going to get to that game here in a minute, but you're not going to beat them like that. That's just, to me, that's not going to happen. And CJ and I were talking about that during the game. They're like, they're not running the football. They have Devin Singletary's a good freaking running back, and they're not using him. So
you're going to have to run the ball.
TJ Yeldon's no slouch either.
But you're going to have to run the ball because if you don't keep 15 off the field, you're in for
It's going to be a long day. Bad toe and freaking whiplash all together. You better keep him off the field, or he's going to fucking wreck your weekend, and he's going to play for a second ring. Period.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just I don't understand what their offense, what they saw on film, what was telling them to.
I think they were terrified of what they saw from Tennessee. Just that raw aggression at the line of scrimmage.
I understand that, but they were getting. I mean, Devin Singletary was getting like 7 yards a pop there in the first 3 plays of the second half. It's just like.
And then they shut him down from there because he doesn't get many carries after that.
I mean,
all right, so 2-3 carries, and then he only carries 4 times the rest of the game.
I know. I don't understand what they were trying to do if they thought that the quick game was going to win the game or what.
I'm just leaving it up to the coach because the coach is fucking good. Sean McDermott's a freaking great coach. He's a great coach. So they'll dial up, and maybe it's what you say. It's what we saw on film. This is what we have to do. We're going to limit our running game, and we'll punch in the second half. We were talking about this. Patrick and I have talked about this a gazillion times about how coaches come out in the first half on offense, and they stay on script. They don't get off. They're trying to see what the defense will do and react to formations and adjustments and stuff like that. And maybe that's what McDermott did.
Yeah, but Coach, I say this every single fucking game for the playoffs. Every single goddamn year that you will say that you will not survive against Mahomes if you do that. But I am telling you right now, the playoffs, it is a different game plan every single week. And when they looked at Baltimore and they saw what they did last week, they were like, we are not going to be able to run the ball. We just are not going to be able to run the ball.
You could be 100. That's what I'm saying. That's what McDermott is saying.
Survival.
So we'll punch. We'll keep it close in the first half. I get it. I can see him keeping close in the first half, and then we'll just punch later with our freaking run game as it permits.
And what is Kansas City going to do? It's like, well, they only ran the ball 7 times, so maybe we don't really have to fucking worry about anything.
Well,
like that.
I mean,
maybe yeah.
I'm not trying to like speculate, but like, is there Singletary hurt? Is Yeldon hurt? Were they trying to get through the game?
I don't think that's the case. I just think that they saw what they did to Derrick Henry. Like, they did that to the King, and they're like, look, we don't even have fucking Derrick Henry. We're not going to be able to run the ball on them this time. And so I say, let's let Josh Allen have a throw, and hey, maybe if we get a pick 6, we'll win. And that's what happened because, Lamar, they love to throw that stat around. Oh, he's 46-0 in the red zone. He doesn't have an interception. Man, this guy's unreal in the gone, and he's down the sideline. The kid who picked it off?
Weber State guy?
Yeah, Weber State.
The one that got hit in the head at the combine? He turned the wrong way.
Yeah. But everyone likes to talk about Lamar in the red zone. Dude, Josh Allen in the red zone is undefeated.
Tom fucking Brady in the red zones. Unfucking defeated.
But I'm saying, it was a tale of 2 teams that game, and they tried to continue to run the ball. And, they missed 2 field goals, but at the end of the day, their passing game is non-existent against a Buffalo team like that for Baltimore. They could not throw the ball whatsoever.
Yeah, he was really inefficient. Lamar Jackson was very inefficient.
And it goes back to showing you, look, you can get 180 yards rushing against Tennessee, but if a team like Buffalo is like, look, we're going to ball out for the fucking run, and you better beat us on the pass, you got Tre'Davious White.
But I think that's the thing. I think teams are starting to figure out, like, you're dealing with fucking grown-ass men, pro athletes who watch film, who study things. Obviously, I think they've kind of figured out how to stop Lamar Jackson. Like, because the one feathering technique that the guy used, it was like fucking to a T. They do that every game. They're going to shut down Lamar Jackson.
And when you have some good linebackers, and I can't speak enough about Tremaine Edmonds in the middle of the field.
Virginia Tech boy, Virginia. Danville boy, Danville product.
You have a leader there that is very good. And then if you try to throw the ball in Buffalo, you have, I know he's not the best anymore, Josh Norman, and then you have Tre'Davious White
he doesn't start
on the other
though,
side.
So.
But then you have Tre'Davious White on the other side. That. So, yeah.
Yeah, but here's one of the things, though, is they efficiently pressured Lamar Jackson. They had big sacks against him, and that because they defended well and they pressured from the corner and from the safety.
But that's the thing. They were putting the Ravens in those second and medium long, third and long, and that's how you beat Lamar Jackson.
That's always. Unfortunately, that has been the problem with Tennessee this year, is that their defense, it does not create turnovers. They have 11 turnovers on the season, and they also don't get to the quarterback very well, and they don't have good third down efficiency. So that's like a recipe for disaster when you shut down the King, and it's like, all right, defense, get back out there, and your entire season's been like, dude, we don't have a shot in hell now.
Tremaine Edmonds is 6'5", runs like a fucking deer, had 120 tackles this season.
Did you see his when he's slow, like his stutter steps slowing up on this when he hit the sideline, like running to the near hip? I was like, this is clinic tape right here. This is his burst to the tackle, and then him trailing the near hip, and his stutter steps Boom.
Foot fire, bang, put him down. Efficient tackler. That's why he's a freaking second-year pro who's a freaking captain.
Okay. Next game. What was the next game?
Browns Chiefs.
Browns and Chefs.
That's right. Because
That's right.
yeah, we didn't. Expect
What
this to
I
happen.
did, this game was something else.
Right off the bat, you think he's going to play?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, Pat Mahomes got injured in this game.
He got ragdolled.
Well, he got choked out.
Yeah.
He's not concussed. He got
no,
fucking
Well, what
choked.
did you say that he looked like when he got up? What was?
I said he
We were
looked like
sitting
he
on the
just got
couch.
up out of the bar. Like, he's like, hey,
Yeah.
just put him back.
I think he got choked out, but
Well, I
like the old neck.
Yeah, but if you watch the way he went down, his head went down really hard. Like, and I wouldn't say he got choked, but he got whiplashed, and it just freaking shook him. But when he got up off the ground, he was like he was at a frat party. He was like, "Hey, come on, fellas, I'm still good." And they were fucking. He had jelly legs, and then as soon as when he ran back to the locker room, I'm like, yeah, they're gonna save his ass.
he was trying to come back.
Yeah, they took his helmet.
And-
I still think that until the NFL clears him from the protocol, there's still going to be a big question because that's a 5-day step. Right now, he's feeling good. It's only 3 days removed, or 2 days removed, but it's a 5-day process, a 5-step protocol. So it's not like
He passed preliminaries.
all the preliminaries. Yeah, and he says he's good. So
I mean, he's gonna play. Like,
yeah.
let's.
How could you not?
Yeah.
I'll start with Cleveland though.
I thought they were gonna fucking win the game.
For
Yeah.
as much as I am upset about how Cleveland beat Pittsburgh, I am pissed with the way that Cleveland handled the first half. Your whole thing going into the playoffs is feed it to Nick Chubb. Fucking feed it to him, and you guys.
How many times
didn't
how
do that.
many times did I say that? Where's Chubb? Give it to Chubb. Give it to Chubb.
Why
How many
have you
times did
not-
I say that during the game,
In the
CJ?
second half, he was eating, and he was tearing them apart. And you guys in the first half were down, 3-19? You were down.
Let's call it what it is. Alex Van Pelt called a better game than Kevin Stefanski. let me.
Clearly.
I mean, here's the thing that I have the issue with, right?
He should have stayed at home in his basement watching the game.
Yeah, but here's the issue. Like, let the head coach be the head coach. Don't be trying to wrap yourself up into coordinator duties because then you're trying to do two fucking things at the same. Now, granted, you do it at the high school level, but now you're trying
This
to do.
ain't the high school.
I know you're getting paid millions of dollars. Let the OC call the game.
Unless you're Mike Tomlin and do fucking something with the offense there, man.
Well, Matt Canada hopefully is the answer, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
But anyway, I was saying, like, you are not using your backbone. I get that Mayfield is a good enough quarterback, but dude, you have found success in feeding it to Chubb and Hunt.
Okay,
Yeah.
regardless, they were still had a position. They still had a chance to win the game when it came down to it.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Except for the targeting that was totally missed by Sorensen.
Oh, that's what I want to bring up. I want to talk about this. I think there does need to be a rule change for the fact that if it is fumbled out of the end zone somehow, some way, that it comes back to the 20.
It's just
They have to do something about that because that literally is the difference in the ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Browns win. Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know.
And how many times? But here's the thing: how many kicks did Bucker miss? He missed an extra point. What he also had a freaking shitty day kicking the ball. It should have been. It could have been a lot worse. But the same thing happens with Cleveland. Is that freaking ball rolling back through the end zone? There was huge opportunity for points that could have changed the outcome of that game, and it didn't. It just didn't happen that way. But
I think they have to take a look at it. You know, I mean, it was literally what, a half inch from breaking the plane. What do you think? Half inch?
Maybe.
Inch?
Just give it 1 inch, and that's it.
I mean,
But you've got to be kidding me that nothing was called from New York. You've got to.
well, it's not a reviewable play. It's not a reviewable hit.
Yeah, but that's the thing is,
But that's
you
the
say
thing.
that the ball should be come back to the 20 because it got fumbled through, and I get all
No,
that.
I'm not saying
but at the
that.
same time, when you see a tackle being made, and you didn't see it in real time, but you go back and you see it, and you're like, holy shit, he fucking speared him right in the side of the head. No wonder he dropped the damn ball, and it went through the back of the end zone. He fucking delivered a helmet to helmet, head down, and if that was anywhere else on the field, he's called for targeting and ejected.
I mean, why are we not doing the college rule? Why are we not reviewing every single play for targeting?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
is
yes.
Like,
Why
I don't
can't we do
understand
that?
how that's not-
I think you're right.
We want to bring safety into the game, into the the light. Every play needs to have reviewable, both offensive and defensive targeting, like we had in the college football playoff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it affects the game.
And that idiot from Cincinnati, fucking offensive lineman, just headbutting that.
That was stupid.
I think that we need
That
to
was
look
stupid.
at that. So things to look at for the competition.
Because if you're
community.
about safety, and that's something that the NFL has stressed for a long time, and you don't have something that is
In
that
place.
blatant, I mean, that is literally the definition. If you want, like at the high school level, you take a picture of that and say, if you do this,
You'll be kicked out of the game. Period.
You
do
will
that
not
at high
play.
school or college, you're done.
you're done. Period.
They'll review it and freaking eject you for targeting.
And I'm not saying at the NFL level that you should be ejected. Personally, I don't think. Now, should you be penalized heavily?
Why
Absolutely.
shouldn't you be ejected?
I think it's the same thing because it's unsafe. It's
Yeah.
unsafe. You're ending. You could technically you could end somebody's career with that
You're
helmet to helmet.
carelessly going
head
about
down.
trying to
Yeah.
tackle somebody.
Not
and
just
being
your
like,
own
hey, you
career,
know
but
what's the
somebody
hardest thing
else's.
on my- I'm gonna use my fucking
let's think
helmet.
about this, right? Ryan Shazier hit that paralyzed him. Theoretically, is targeting
Yes.
the way he led.
Yes.
So like, look at him now.
I'm not saying.
I'm agreeing with, but I'm agreeing with you.
It was the same thing. CJ and I argued about the Skowski tackle in the,
And I changed my opinion
semifinal.
on it to
Right
say, yeah,
after
I
he saw
understand
it,
it
but
now.
it doesn't happen without the spin. I mean, we had the benefit of the slow mo and the spin, but the fact is, his head was down, and regardless of the spin or whatever,
leading
he
with the crown
was
of the
leading
helmet.
with the crown of the helmet, and you can't have that, and you
There-
can't have that in the NFL.
There was a personal foul in the next game we'll talk about that was put down in slow motion. I'm like, you literally hit him with the shoulder.
Yeah.
Got his
Yeah,
arms
yeah.
around, and it was called a personal foul.
and that's the other issue that I have, CJ, is the inconsistency
Yep.
Yeah.
in the refereeing and the officiating, where one crew fucking flag central, other crew
This goes
swallows
back,
the whistle.
This goes back all the way to the freaking completely botched call with Minnesota and New Orleans a couple of years ago. It's the same thing. If you can't catch it because there's the human component of people watching it in real time, then why are you filming it from every fucking angle that can humanly? We have 8K cameras now. Don't tell me you can't see it. Don't tell me you can't see those things. And so if you can slow it down and review it and do all these things, then make the right decision. Make the right call. And it may change the outcome of the game, but at the end of the day, they've been hammering about player safety. The players want safer conditions. Well, we just laid it out for you. And when your career gets ended because of this, or somebody violates you with an incorrect tackle, then you would want their head on a platter. You'd want them fucking ejected from the game too. And it's just tragic. If they already, the NFL, like what's his name from? Who's the guy from Tennessee and from what the hell was his name? Shit, he was the one guy who always left tickets for Elvis. Yeah, he always left tickets for Elvis just
We
in
don't
case.
fucking know.
You'll know who he is, but he always said it stands for not for long when you make calls like that. The NFL stands for not for long. And we've also argued that the NFL stands for the no fundamental league, where guys just don't have fundamentals anymore, and the lack of fundamentals leads to injuries, and you can't have that. Especially when you're talking about $1 million athletes, multi-million dollar athletes, you can't have that. So something needs to change. 100% something needs to change.
Okay, but for Kansas City, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the Browns had a chance to win, and like that play was the outcome. Was a big reason that the outcome stood where it was. But also, you had a 3rd and 14 on Chad fucking Henne.
Pennsylvania zone, baby.
And guess
Jerry
what?
Glanville was the guy who always left tickets for Elvis. Jerry Glanville.
Pennsylvania's
And on
out.
the next play, he basically said hashtag anything's possible and made a third.
Anything. Yeah, Wilson Westlawn. Jimmy Cantafio was the coach.
How about the nuts of Andy Reid and Chad Henne?
Everyone says it's nuts, but it's like, dude, he's just trying to win the fucking game.
I mean, but here's the thing: like Chad Henne had the time to play in Week 17, get some snaps this year.
Yeah,
You know,
the
so-
announcers were talking about
I mean, he's game ready.
I get that, like, they're saying he has the balls, but I'm like, he's literally throwing it to Tyreek Hill, who's literally
not just that, but it was an efficient play. It was a really efficient play. I mean, hey,
It was a great play call.
Get Tyreek open in the flat and give him a decent ball that he can catch.
But that's why I'm not, like, freaking out over it, because
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
I didn't.
well,
I was just like, what? That was a hell of a call.
of course they do that for, like, the Chiefs, as everyone's freaking out for.
Yeah, but who the hell covers Kelsey? Why does nobody cover that son of a bitch? He's the best. He's the best overall tight end in football because of the fact that how he runs routes and how he gets open, and he just is. And it's so infuriating that defenses don't go, hey, we better cover number 87 because he's pretty good. And after he catches the ball, he's just as good after he catches it.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the final game because we expected the Chiefs to win this one.
Yeah.
And they did.
And CJ, going back, I mean, when we looked at the Browns Chiefs, you picked a 35-10 or 35-14 KC, and I picked them at 24-21 Browns. And that game had its moments where it could have been turned on its ear, especially when Mahomes goes down. Could have easily changed. It didn't. Ravens, Bills, you said 30-24 Bills. I said 30-24 Ravens. And throw out a couple of plays here and there, the pick six, and that ball game's a hell of a lot closer. I don't know if it's 30-24. I thought both teams would score more, but they just didn't.
I think the weather had an issue.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah.
I mean, but Rams, Packers, you picked the Rams 30-23. I picked the Packers 24-20. And it realistically, that game could have gone either way as well. And then finally, we got Bucks at the Saints, CJ. Take it away.
This was a game for the ages here.
Well, guess what?
What?
I'm still on the track.
He's still holding to it.
I'm still on the track for the Super Bowl. But I'm still 2 for 2 on saying, look, if you can beat this team, if you can beat this fucking team, this team that has put you up on, you're getting on your high horse and then, like, sit the fuck down. Twice they did it to you. They did it to you twice. Well, guess what? The time that only matters. It's in the playoffs. It doesn't matter how many times they did it to you in the regular season. Because you think back, Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay. They have a stellar offense. These guys are riding high. Saints come in week 1, they beat them by 11. They beat them 34-23, and you're like, oh boy, Tom Brady's looking really rough. He has a big six. Everybody's like, and then they start playing well. They beat Green Bay. They even beat Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, they beat
grubbed
some
Green
teams.
Bay.
And then, guess who comes into town? New Orleans. And that game was over.
Was that
before
week 8 or 9?
Shellacked.
Week 8, week 9? Something like that.
They got shellacked 30-3.
Got their ass beat.
And they're like, dude, shut up. Know who your dad is. Remember, we have your guy on our team, Jameis Winston. Remember who you are. And things and stuff like that. I'm just trying to set the mood. Then, now you're in the playoffs. New Orleans beats Chicago. You guys beat Washington. You go in, and guess what? Your defense plays phenomenally. Your defense has 3 turnovers. Your defense has a pick six. Not a pick six. Close to a pick six. Like, you guys literally played so perfectly. And then offensively, you guys ran the ball. And that's all you can ask for, which is something that you guys didn't do the first 2 times, because guess what? The second game, it got out of hand before you could even do anything.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah.
playing
Well,
from behind. And then in the first one, everyone wants to see Tom. Everybody wants to see this big.
Oh, wasn't it week 1?
Yeah, it was week
So
1.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Let's throw that game out.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
But the second one is a shellacking, and you're not, and you didn't prove anything.
I mean, CJ, it's so hard to beat a team 3 times in one season.
Not just anybody. Tom Brady's team 3
Right.
times. Yeah.
Right. But regardless, any team.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even in high school, like my junior year, we went 24-0 regular season. We had to beat the same team 4 times.
Jesus.
Yikes.
Twice in the regular season, once in a tournament, once in the playoffs. So, like, barely beating them. So I understand like how hard it is to beat the same team 4 times. So even 3 times. So I think that had they learned obviously from the throughout week 1, but like that week they got destroyed at home. Like it's an insult.
Yeah.
Right. And they got hammered.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. 38-3, right?
Sure.
30-3.
30, yeah.
It didn't start out perfect for them.
No.
Of course, New Orleans looked like the same New Orleans, but like I said, their defense played so great. They had 2 opportunities due to special teams, and it only resulted in 6 points for New Orleans. Like, their defense played lights out. Devin White.
He had 11 tackles. 10 solo tackles.
They said he had 140 tackles on the year.
And he didn't get a
And
Pro
9
Bowl.
sacks.
Didn't make the Pro Bowl.
9 sacks.
Didn't make the Pro Bowl.
He didn't make
That's
the Pro
insane.
Bowl, but he made second-team All-Pro.
Second team All
And
Pro,
he
but he
missed
didn't make
2
the
weeks with COVID. He missed 2 games with COVID.
And he had no symptoms. He was just tackling shit at home. I can guarantee you that. But what about the thing I like about that dude is he just freaking plays with Pat. He's like all freaking jacked up.
And he doesn't wear a normal linebacker number, so that's why I was
Him and Levante are, like I said, that duo. But anyway, it's week to week, and sure, offensively, Tampa didn't look perfect. There was a lot of drop balls by Gronk himself. There was a lot of bad plays that were made. But I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter.
How about that one catch by that one rookie?
Scotty Miller, man.
Dude,
Don't fucking sleep
CJ
on
called
Scotty
it.
Miller.
CJ called that the play before. He goes and because they
It's
were
like
talking
Antonio Brown's
they were
out.
talking
It's
about
like now
Antonio
they're
Brown, and CJ goes, "Don't forget about Scotty Miller. That bitch will catch the ball." And then 2 plays later, he's freaking catching a dime from Brady.
Yeah.
Caught a big third down.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Johnson, number 18.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Tyler Johnson's catch behind the back. I was like, oh.
Like, that's why you're in the NFL, I guess, yeah.
But, like, why don't they use him? Godwin didn't do anything.
Yeah,
He had
but
4
Godwin
catches.
also,
yeah,
like I
but
said,
when you look at their top 3 receivers,
Godwin
Mike
didn't do
Evans,
anything.
Antonio Brown, and Rob Gronkowski only had 3 catches.
but Godwin also had a lot of bad position plays where like Tom Brady overthrew him. Like he almost had that touchdown catch, and it just bounced off of him.
He
at
couldn't.
the
He
very
couldn't.
end. It was
It's like
just-
if he'd have tucked it. Listening to the announcer, it was like if he made an attempt to tuck the ball, that going to the ground, his attempt to tuck the ball is a playoff or is a football move.
Gotcha.
And therefore is a reception and a touchdown.
Yeah. So he was just he had a lot of bad thrown balls, I will say.
I think he'll rebound. It's a pro.
Oh,
You
yeah.
learn,
Here's what I've been thinking about too. Ever since that Falcons game back in, it was right before Christmas. They're down 17-0, and they're still trying to figure things out. And then boom, they score 31.5, and it's just like a light came on all of a sudden. And then they play Detroit, beat the crap out of them, 47-7, 47 points. Play the same team that they were down 17-2, put 44 on them again. And then they put 31 on a very, very good Washington defense. And then they put another 30 on the Saints defense. Like, whatever clicked, it's freaking scary.
It's not super efficient.
It's 3 letters.
It's not super efficient. but it-
FUN. They're having fun.
Yeah,
It's like someone just
it's not
clicked and
super
they're-
efficient right now, and you're gonna have to freaking play your ass off to beat Green Bay. You're just gonna have to play your ass off. But at the same time, Green Bay's defense had better freaking show up, or Tom Brady and their freaking offense are gonna run them right out of the fucking stadium.
I mean, they found something.
There was an article about Devin White, how he was feeling bad, and he didn't get selected to the Pro Bowl, and Tom Brady
Gives a
went to him.
shit.
Fuck that shit.
Well, he
He's
was
gonna play
saying
for a Super Bowl
I
here.
know that, but that was the thing is that Tom Brady went to him and he goes, "Buddy, I don't ever worry about that bowl. We're playing for a different bowl,
I always
and
opt
that's what we're trying to do is play for another." He doesn't have to opt out because he's always playing for a
No,
fucking.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I opt out because I'm actually playing for
Right,
the
he
whole
goes, "There's
shebang."
something bigger, and you're playing for a Super Bowl, and that's what we're playing for right now is to get to a bigger bowl." And Devin White was like, "Yeah, that's why he's the GOAT." I was thinking about myself, and he's thinking about what we can do as a team. So, if Antonio Brown is healthy,
Now-
Green Bay's going to have their hands full
Now let's
because the run game is
You want
there.
to talk about that hit?
final points. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
Jordan Whitehead.
No, it's Murphy Bunting. Yeah.
Well,
I could have sworn it was Murphy Bunting.
well, Jordan Whitehead was the one that
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
this.
And if anything, it was almost a form tackle had Jared Cook gone, wasn't so fucking huge. And he was getting his arms around and he hit him with the shoulder. And everyone's like, well, this is why football is like just unsafe. It's like, dude, it's cheek to cheek, my guy. He's literally turning his head.
I just have an issue, just like
There's inconsistency.
that's the issue that I have, and it's
that
one.
led to a field goal.
Yeah.
That led to points being scored on it.
If it was consistent across the board, okay, we're gonna call that fine. But you can't have one crew calling it, another crew not.
Right.
You know.
I think you're right.
So that's my issue, and I'll always stand by that consistency.
Now for New Orleans, final point. If that's
He gone.
If that's it for
He
Drew,
gone.
then that's fucking.
You could just tell by his body language at the end of the game that
when
he was trying to soak
when
it
he
up
looked
and-
back.
Yep. That tears at you. As like a
after
former
the game,
player.
he was like macking on his wife and talking to Tom Brady and throwing touchdown passes with his kids. And
He's trying to embrace that moment that he doesn't want to let go because he knows that it's probably that's probably it. And as much as that sucks because so much that he's done for the game and the person that he's been for the NFL, he's been such a great role
what he
model
did
for the
to
game.
That city.
Exactly. He
Everything
gave that
he
city
did to that
hope.
city.
And
Dude, he was a freaking NFL. He was freaking Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year.
he's a
It's like-
Super Bowl champ. He's
Yeah.
he's
He
the
did
man
all-
of the
he's
year.
done all those things, yeah.
He's done so much for that city. And it sucks to end it with 3 picks and a loss to, a rival. But you can't look, that look when he looks back and, that'll live on in Saints history is like, he's just looking back on, everything he's done for them. And you can't help but appreciate just who he is and what he's done. And, if that's it for Drew Brees, then that's it for
That's
Drew
a hell of
Brees,
a way to
man.
go
Then that's
out
the
with
way to
3
go.
interceptions.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
But you can't be a Peyton Manning and go out on top and ride a defense to a Super Bowl. Sorry, but or be a Ray Lewis
and
that,
play like
that
shit,
wins.
but still
that
get
wins
there.
and ends it. That those are very very rare. And I think he's done. And if he's done, farewell, Drew Brees. And good luck with whatever you do next. But it's time to move on.
Yeah, and he doesn't have anything to worry about. His career is solidified. And I was telling these guys. Talking to Kathy, their mother, and saying they shouldn't even have to wait. He shouldn't have to wait 5 years.
He should have walked off and here you go. Here's the jacket.
Yeah, you walk off
my guy.
you walk off the field, and then they put you in a freaking gold jacket and go, hey. You're gonna come back next summer. Or you're gonna have to give a speech because he's Hall of Fame. Period.
Yeah.
First ballot, no questions asked.
Not you don't even. I still say he should not have to wait 5 years. He just shouldn't because he's that good.
The question is going to be the quarterback spot there. It's going to be interesting what they do in the offseason if he does.
Hey, Jameis Winston 1 for 1, 56 yards and a tutty.
Fucking stealing your Bears, buddy. they drew up the old Matt Nagy.
Only this time he caught it.
Yeah, they had a guy who
Yeah,
could catch
yeah,
it. Yeah,
no.
instead of a.
I
fucking
just think it's gonna, no offense to Sean Payton, but he's pulling a Mike Tomlin here. Early exits. When is Sean Payton's seat gonna get hot in New Orleans? He's a great regular season coach. It's my same philosophy with Mike Tomlin. Great regular season coach, can't get it done in the playoffs. Yeah. When are their seats going to get hot? When are they going to start to be held accountable for their teams in the playoffs? Mm-hmm. I don't care about wins, losses, regular season. Get your ass to the playoffs and then figure out something out.
It seems. Final point. Like I love what you say because it irritates the fuck out of me when everyone wants to bring up, Tom Brady and say this and that and fake rings and everything like that. It's just like, you keep talking about all this whenever your team has never done anything even close to what he has achieved in just his career alone.
Right.
To say that everything is like, oh well, we were like we went 14-2. It's like, yeah, but Tom Brady won the fucking Super Bowl. So who really won? Like honestly, last year, what was it? Oh, Ravens MVP, cool. Lamar Jackson. Guess who won the Super Bowl? Pat
Chiefs.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit about your awards. I don't care about that. And it's the same thing for Tom. You know, he won MVP in 2017 and played the best game of his career probably in that Super Bowl and still lost to the Eagles.
Yeah.
And it sucks to see things like that where it's like, haha, Tom Brady lost. It's like, what the fuck are you on about? Honestly. It's like going to be this weekend. It's like, well,
You got the haters.
real best of all time versus, the GO. It's like, we'll see how, he holds up. It's stuff like that.
You
where-
got haters out there, and you always will. You just will.
Sean Payton, he's had his seat for a long time, but in the playoffs, he hasn't won a home playoff game in the past 4 seasons. He just hasn't.
When will the seats be hot?
Yeah.
Albeit, that Rams game is still fucking bullshit. Albeit, it is still bullshit that happened. Because there you go. Consistency again.
Yeah.
Where you slow that play down and you go, how was this not
Missed. How was it
called?
missed? Yeah.
I'm just saying, when are we going to start holding coaches accountable in the playoffs? Like, okay, I get it that they can win in the regular season, but when
And they can
it
get-
matters, 10 years, 12 years, you haven't done shit. Okay, it's time to move on. We need to hit the reset button with the coaching staff.
Unfortunately, you're not going to get that in Pittsburgh, though.
No, we won't.
No, because
They've
if there's one thing, and CJ has talked about this before, is that they have a loyalty thing there.
That irritates me,
But he's been successful. He has. I mean, you can't.
a couple
get-
of championship games.
I
in recent
get
years.
that. But the expectations in Pittsburgh are championships or bust. I'm sorry, but you ain't winning championships.
You can't say
to
that
move.
for a lot of teams, though. That
Yeah.
love to talk a lot of shit on those teams that have that mentality.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's get.
Speaking of coaching,
Oh, wait a minute. Let's get our freaking picks for this coming.
then
week.
hurry the fuck up.
Let's go. Let's go.
Sassy.
Bills at the Chefs. Who you got, CJ? Bills and Chefs. Give me a score and a freaking outcome.
Oh boy,
Who do you got?
I have to stay true to my prediction.
All
I
right.
will. I'm going Bills 27-20 over Kansas City.
Holding Mahomes under 21.
Well, they did
If
it.
he-
The
Woo!
Browns fucking did it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
They held him to 22. I'm sorry. They held him 1
I think if Mahomes plays, no one covers freaking Kelsey, and the freaking KC wins. But I think the Browns keep it close, and I think this one comes down to
the
the
Browns
wire.
lost. So.
You know,
I'm
the
sorry,
Buffalo Bills.
The Bills Mafia keeps it close.
Listen to this
um,
fucking guy over here.
They're gonna need the extra luck of smashing more tables this week.
Yeah, they're gonna have to bring reserve tables to freaking even keep up with Mahomes. But I'm gonna flip the score. I think CJ's right. I think Buffalo's good enough to score 20 at least minimum. So I'm gonna pick 27-20 KC. If Mahomes plays, KC wins. All right, here we go, Viggs.
I gotta go the Bills, even though I gotta go for it. Even though my head says KC, I gotta go Bills. I think it's gonna be a higher scoring game. I just don't think that I think it's gonna be like a 35-31 type deal.
35-31. And Patrick, fire it up.
So I got. Part of me goes, don't bet against Andy Reid, but
They can't.
I'm going Bills. I'm
Bills.
going Bills 28-24.
28-24. All right, got it. All right, here we go. Bucks at the Pack. CJ, fire it up, man. Bucks at the Pack. He said, "Hurry the fuck up!"
I have
he
to do it. I
he's
have
like,
to
"Who is
stay
this
true
guy?"
to my prediction.
All right, he's going
I'm going
Bucks.
with the Bucks.
All right, give me a score.
I can't give a score though, man. Like this is. Am I gonna get a high bet? You know what? I'm gonna go 30-27 Bucks. I think a lot of field goals, and their kicker has been fantastic. Cairo Santos. No, not Cairo Santos. Is it Cairo Santos for Tampa Bay, or is that Chicago's kicker? I don't know.
That's freaking.
Okay. Well, Chicago Buccaneers kicker has been phenomenal. Hasn't had any issues these past couple of weeks, so I'm going with the Buccaneers.
All right. I'm going to go Bucks also. It's tough to beat Tommy when it counts. I'm thinking this is going to be a closer game than the last time they played. I don't think you can keep Rodgers under 21 points minimum. So I'm going to go
Ryan Suckup.
Suck
That's
up.
who it
That's it. I'm going to go
The fuck, CJ?
I'm going to go 31-28 Bucks. I think a field goal from Ryan Suckup is going to win it. Closing seconds. If he hits it, going on to the bowl. Viggs, sorry.
I'm going to have to break the schneid
All
here.
right, Pack.
I'm going to go Raj because I think he's hungry.
Rajas!
I think I think this is going to be a great game. I think it's going to be close throughout. I think it's going to come down, obviously, to the defense. Let's go 28-27. I think it's going to be a tight one here.
That's tight as a 12-year-old right there. Patrick.
I don't know if it's genetics or if you're just reading my mind, but I was thinking the exact same score. I think Rodgers is going to have a great summer selling insurance because Brady's going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, my God. You're picking Bucks?
I got Bucks. I got 35-28 Bucks.
35-28. Wow. Viggs, you better not be the lone holdout and win this fucking thing because I'll be pissed. So there's what we got. CJ, Bills, Chiefs. CJ's going Bills because he thinks Bills and Bucks 27-20. I'm taking my homie. I think even with his freaking squandered neck there, 27-20. The rest of you, Viggs and freaking Patrick, 35-31 Viggs, 28-24 Patrick. And then the Bucks versus the Pack. 3 guys picked the Bucks. CJ, myself, and Patrick picked the Bucks. Bigna with the lone holdout in freaking the Packers, 28-27. Let's hope it is a really good game and we have a freaking phenomenal Super Bowl because the last couple have.
I mean, last year's was good.
Well, yeah,
it was a comeback.
Super
I
Bowl
know.
52.
Yeah.
Woo, go Eagles. Because we suck now.
World Series
Ooh.
World Series champion,
He
Los
talks
Angeles
about
Dodgers.
that,
World
and they
champs.
just fired
World
their head
champs.
Coach.
Super Bowl champs.
So there you go. All right, CJ, let's get on to our next topic, and we have NFL head coaching vacancies.
Yeah.
Who do you want to talk about?
So
Do you
right
want-
away,
I got my
I
list.
think-
Do you want to go off the list?
I can give it here.
Yeah.
All right, so I wanted to start off with the best candidate that I thought was Robert Saleh. I think what he did this year more than last year, if anything, was a clear indication that he's a damn good coach. Because this year, they had 19 players on injured reserve for the 49ers. And their defense still had one of the best in the NFL in Fred Warner. And he was a nobody. And maybe that was, and he got coached up better, or he was just that talented. We don't know. But what he did last year and this year for that defense, I think, is what gave him the opportunity to change a team of nobodies into something good. Because that's what New York is. They're a team of nobodies, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Why do you think a guy of his caliber picks New York?
Maybe he likes a challenge, I guess.
That's where I think.
Knowing the growing pains and what they've faced in the past, the Jets have been irrelevant for a decade at least. And yet, you're going to go there. Was it money? Do you take the money and go, hey, I'm good at a shit show, and I'll try and resurrect this thing?
I just think that he is the best candidate for a shit show like that, though.
Okay, I'm not saying you're not. I'm not saying you're not right, but I'm thinking to myself, if I'm Robert Saleh, why would I go there?
But okay, so here's what I think. Robert Saleh he has the passion. You see it on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you span the camera to him, he's always fired up. He's always jacked up. He's always dialed in. Well, think about now. The Jets aren't very talented and they're not very good. But you're telling me if they rallied at the end of the season to be at least competitive in the games that they played with Adam Gase, there's a fire there that I think that is attractive. You know, they're not very talented and they're not very good. And the GM show and that organization has been a crapshoot. No doubting that. But if you saw those guys rally around a guy like Adam Gase and at least become competitive to where they
What are they
Where
going to do
teams
with a guy
thought,
like this?
What are you going to do with a guy like this? That's going to bring passion. He's going to bring energy. He's going to come in, and he's not going to be like a Rex Ryan. He's not going to be an Adam Gase. That's like, I got a big name and whatever. We're going to work. We're going to bring passion back into this building, and I think that's what he brings.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't disagree. I mean, I'm just saying, why would a guy like that do that?
All right. So
But
next one, Urban Meyer is back in coaching.
holy shit!
I didn't think this was actually going to happen, but
Holy shit! That was my best John Belushi. And
what were they doing on that yacht to get him to coach for the Jags?
Trevor
With
Lawrence.
Ra's al Ghul? No, it's not him.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I think
That's about it. Trevor Lawrence.
well,
He said
I
he's
don't
the
know.
best college quarterback he's ever seen.
okay. Well, Mac Jones.
Why would you not want
Mac
to go
Jones
coach
just
that?
threw for 500 yards in a national championship, dominated the piss out of his freaking former school.
I mean, he does know a little bit about Justin Fields too. I mean, he's got some inside info there.
I wouldn't want either one of those cats. I'd be freaking wanting Mac Jones. I want a freaking.
I want a winner.
I want
Yeah.
to graduated college in 3 years.
Nothing against Matt Jones, and I get it, but I have some bias. How well have Alabama quarterbacks done in the NFL?
I don't know. There's a shitload of them in the NFL.
They're there.
Okay, pick out all the other ones. Pick out all the other schools that have sent quarterbacks to the NFL.
I'm just saying.
He-
Deshaun Watson turned out pretty well. Trevor Lawrence
Yeah,
could turn
after
out
he
pretty well.
Basically, shove it in your face that he was that good.
I'm just saying. Trevor Lawrence is the real freaking deal.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's not, but he hasn't done shit.
He hasn't done one thing
in the
There
NFL.
have a lot of quarterbacks,
Yeah.
and a lot of people didn't think that Justin
Yeah.
Herbert was going to do shit.
I
Right,
knew-
and he was
and
supposed to
I-
sit, and he freaking lit the
I knew
world
he
on
was gonna
fire
be
when
good.
he came up there.
I loved him. I loved him at Oregon.
Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years behind Fava Rava Rava Ray
And you don't
and didn't
think
play
that
it
what Trevor
down.
Lawrence is capable of what Justin Herbert?
Tom
He's
Brady-
not as big as him.
Tom Brady
Justin
sat
Herbert
behind freaking Drew Bledsoe too. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. So
Ben Roethlisberger sat behind Tommy
Oh,
Maddox.
fucking it took him a game and a quarter to come into the game.
Tommy Maddox.
Next one. Chargers hire Brandon Staley from the Rams. So he literally
Crosstown, baby.
I think
The
it shows
dude,
what
he's
you're
like-
worried about.
What's
though.
he like? 38 years old or some shit? He's not even 40.
But I think it
Sean
shows.
McVay's 34.
I know. he's-
So what are you talking about?
I don't know.
I just think it shows
I don't
where
know.
you're worried.
I graduated high school 35 years ago.
I mean, I'll be 31 in April, and he's 34 years old.
Holy shit.
I just think it shows where your worries at. You got a quarterback. You know he can move the ball. You know that he can do special things.
Who, Deshaun Watson?
You got to find Justin Herbert
Oh, Herbert. I thought
with the Chargers. If you can find somebody that can stop the other team from scoring, you know that 10's going to be able to put points on the board.
Well, let's
That's
be
crazy.
honest. Fucking Anthony Lynn's clock management and
decision making.
that's why his ass got fired. I mean, he's not a bad coach.
No,
he's
and
just not a
gonna
good.
He'll be somewhere else, and he'll be involved in the NFL.
He's just not a good decision maker, and I think that comes down to it. I think granted, Brandon Staley was a D3 coordinator 5 years ago, and now he's a head coach of an NFL football team.
Well,
I mean, I
Sean
think
McVay. Look at him.
innovative.
Yeah, hey, and you learn at the pace that you're given, and Sean McVay demands a lot of their guys. So I don't know. They did what they were supposed to do. So shit.
I was kind of surprised Brian Dable didn't get that job. But that's all I'm saying on that one. I was
I
shocked
feel
by
like
that.
it would have been huge to have a guy with Herbert and him
Yeah.
together.
Yes. Me too. That's what
Considering
I.
what he's done to Allen. these
Yeah.
past 2
Exactly.
seasons.
So I'm kind.
But that's the thing is, maybe they wanted to pull the trigger, and he's like, I'm still coaching, and they wanted somebody now.
True.
You know.
I mean, but what happens if Brandon Staley would have been coaching as well? He could have fucking moved on in the playoffs and beaten Aaron Rodgers. Like
I know
what
it
is
could
that-
have been somebody else completely.
I still think we're big.
And I told you this earlier. How many black coaches are on there? And I'm not getting
Robert
political.
Saleh is the only one.
But he's not even black in my book. He doesn't look like any black guy.
Yeah, he's
All right,
mixed.
we are not getting into
But I'm
that
just saying
shit.
that. But hey, are you talking where there were 17 positions and what 3 black guys considered? This is a freaking league of black players, and they had better soon sort this shit out.
Well, I'll get into 2 other teams, and then we'll talk about the Texans, because we talked about the Eagles already.
Right.
Okay.
Boo!
Dan Campbell from the Saints going to the Lions. The tight ends coach and assistant head coach. Former
Well,
tight
he's
end in the NFL.
that to me. The freaking Lions are a black hole for
I just
coaches.
don't know what the hell they're thinking. Honestly, you have a guy. Don't get me wrong. Matt Stafford is towards the end of his career, but with a guy like Eric, how do you say his last name? Bieniemy. There to at least give some better guidance to that offense with the playmakers that they have. You're telling me you went with the tight ends coach
From
the
the
New
Saints.
Orleans Saints.
How are you not freaking going, Eric
The
Bieniemy? We will pay you a
I mean,
king's ransom.
but the
Bring
thing-
your offensive system.
word-
Bring the things that you're doing in KC.
I still
here.
get fired up that they let go of Jim Caldwell. He was slowly turning that team around.
Yeah, I get it. And then to hire Matt Patricia, and it was just like, come on. It's just like, Matt Patricia's going to fucking end up back in New England.
He is.
He's going to end up back there. He's going to be somebody's defensive coordinator.
And then the Falcons, Arthur Smith from Tennessee, their offensive coordinator.
And we were talking about that earlier. He's the guy that resurrected freaking Tannehill's freaking.
I get that. But what are they trying to do here? Honestly, what are they trying to do with... Are they trying to seriously keep Ryan and Julio together? Because your defense literally imploded at the beginning of the season to where it was considered the worst in NFL history. And now you're saying we need to find the offensive guy to bring in and try and turn this around. When, like I said, your problem the whole season was not your offense. It was your defense was imploding. And it was starting to turn into a bad case of the headaches. Because offensively, Matt Ryan had Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is coming into his own. Todd Gurley, sure, he's not as serviceable
He's
as
not
what
the
he
same
was,
as what he was, but he's
but
still.
he's still getting it done. And you're telling me an offensive coach is going to turn around a team that literally lost to the Dallas Cowboys when they were up by 28 points?
Hey, where have you seen that before?
But anyway, that's a bad hire to me. And I'm sure maybe they'll prove me wrong, but I think that's a bad hire to me. Unless they find a fantastic defensive. Hey, Matt Patricia's on the line. Call him, right?
Could be.
I mean,
and I think freaking what's Bowles from the freaking Bucks. He's going to be up for a freaking job too.
He's done a great job.
Or it shows, well, I think with the Falcons job, doesn't it kind of hint at what they're going to do draft-wise? Because the red flag was that they were going to take a quarterback. You know, there's the Zach Wilson kid out of BYU. Justin Fields is probably going to be on the board at their level. You know, if you take an offensive coach,
Yeah, where does Justin Fields fall?
You know,
is he in the
Save that for
I
the
get that.
draft.
I'm just saying.
but
is he
His
gonna-
ass will be here as well.
if you take an offensive-minded head coach that has turned a overthought quarterback into somebody that turned a team into a contender. Are you looking at a guy that
contender?
are you taking a young guy that you can develop into something special with Matt Ryan?
And then the final job.
Well, before you get into that, so I think yes, all of these guys could be great hires, right? But it always comes back to this discussion that I have with a lot of other guys. You can be the greatest head coach, but you're only as good as your assistant coaches.
Supporting staff.
You're only as good as your offensive coordinator. You're only as good as your defensive coordinator. Now, yes, you could mold them, you can help them, but you're only as good as your assistants. You have to have that supporting cast, to be able to be successful. And that's why Nick Saban always gets the best of the best assistant coaches. Theoretically, Urban Meyer, when he was at Ohio State, getting the best of the best. Now, will he get the best of the best in the pros? That's yet to be determined. So we'll see what happens.
The thing about Urban Meyer being where he is he understands the college game and knows the talent at the college level, and maybe he can make some good choices. So we'll see. He's a hell of a coach, man. He's been successful everywhere. Patrick and I were talking about this from.
I'm rooting for him.
He started out as a special teams guy, freaking Notre Dame. Then he's a freaking head coach at Utah. And then he freaking goes to, he's a Bowling Green. Then he goes to Utah. Then he goes to Florida. Then he wins 2 in Florida, and then goes to freaking Ohio State, wins another one. He knows how to get things done.
It just comes back
I just
to your
hope his
assistant
heart
coaches.
holds up.
Yeah.
And this is what I love about what you just said is ask Philly how that's going. Where'd Frank Wright go? Oh, that's right. He was the offensive coordinator of a Super Bowl winning team. Well, when he went to the Colts, the Eagles' offense has been putrid. It's been awful. Carson Wentz has declined faster than any quarterback I've
That's
ever
because
seen.
he went to a vegan diet. That's all. Him,
But I'm just
serious as
saying,
shit.
but-
He went to a vegan diet and it fucking wrecked him. That's what
But I'm
wrecked
just
him.
saying, that's a big deal. It's like the head coach stayed the same. Defensive coordinator stayed the same. But our offense has declined and continued to decline. And we've been through a different offensive coordinator. We just fired our head coach, and our offense has continued to plummet. And that guy left. I mean, we put 41 points on Bill Belichick.
Okay. Let's keep it moving. I know you want to talk about your Eagles for hours, but they won 4 games.
No, we suck. End of discussion.
Texans,
We suck.
last one, and then we'll move on to the beer drinking.
Eric Bieniemy.
Yike, this is a
Dude.
mess.
Eric sleeping with Bieniemy is coming to
I'm
fucking
glad he's on this
Texas.
show. I'm glad Patrick's on this show because, he gave me an earful about, I don't think Watson's all that to be because you haven't won as many games this year. Like, what's he supposed to be? And then he watched that Titans-Texans game.
And I sat there and I said, okay, you're right. You're right. I got it. You're right.
It's a bad team, but he's the shining star. It's like that meme where it's like the trash bags and then there's the gold trash bag and he's the gold trash bag. That's literally what he is.
Paper, give me the script.
And this is a mess. And he is pissed now because of the way that they're not hiring anyone.
Yeah, it's a mess.
I say the Bears mortgage everything to get freaking Deshaun Watson.
Like everything in the kitchen sink, literally
Yeah,
pull out the fucking bathtub from the ground as well.
Right.
And give it to them.
Why not?
Yeah.
Big Cat from
Trade him
freaking.
Trubisky.
Well, why not? You could get him. You can get him in a deal. Plus, the Texans will get a freaking draft choice. They could freaking end up with another quarterback. Plus, you give him a first round and a second round, and some cash. You could fucking make it happen. Freaking.
Or, this is a good idea, Vigna. You got to listen to this. You draft Watson in the second pick of the draft back in 2017. I'm going crazy, aren't I? I'm going crazy.
Or you should have taken Mahomes or Watson.
I'm going fucking crazy. I know it's right. It's crazy.
Second
right?
pick.
Chicago Bears, crazy thought. Maybe there'll be like.
Maybe you should have picked him when you should have. So go ahead and pay up now and get him.
Or that. This is a mess, and this
It
is.
is.
And even Adam Schefter even said that this is turning into a nightmare, and it is probably the most. This is beating out Detroit. That says a lot of what this job is turning into for this next head coach. It is a bad thing that is coming for Houston.
Yeah. The only saving grace that I see in all of this, the only silver lining is if Eric Bieniemy lands that job, the OC from Kansas City. Because I'm telling you what, if that fucking cat shows up and you're Deshaun Watson, you're like, I guess I'm not so unhappy anymore. Because you can dial up the same kind of stuff that he's doing with Kansas City. Because I'm telling you what, Deshaun Watson has just as good of an arm, maybe not as long distance and powerful, but the stuff he does with his feet isn't what Mahomes does with his feet. I think you got a freaking shining star waiting to happen in Eric Bieniemy. It's just going to happen.
Again, it comes back. Okay.
They should have fired fucking Matt Nagy and hired Bieniemy. That's what they should have done.
It comes back to your assistant coaches. I agree. Like, you can be a great offensive mind, blah, 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 blah. But, like, you're now the head coach. You need to accept the head coach responsibilities. You can't be calling plays and being the head coach. I just think you can't do that at the pro level. You just can't.
Some things might change for Kansas City after Bieniemy leaves.
Could be.
Right.
Could be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. let's move on to a more, soothing topic. Let's move on to some beer.
Oh, that's what I'm all about. I just finished my last one right there. Ready to go. Did you
CJ's
drink this?
Yeah, I drank it.
Sis. Fucking Vigna can't have you.
Sorry.
There's yours right there.
Here we go.
All right,
CJ,
wait a minute.
turn it
Shh,
on.
We're gonna be quiet so we can hear this, and then
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, give me a sec. I have to turn
what is
on.
that noise?
I don't know.
I have to find the beer jazz. I should have had it up.
Beer jazz. Oh shit! Oh, listen to that golden deliciousness.
All right, Coach. Let's get her going.
Works. Oh my! Listen to that. That's freaking beer porno right
Here's
there.
the porn
All right.
music. Can we
That's
try
good.
some beers?
That's good. Yeah. Hold that.
Coach.
Yeah.
Tell us about the beer.
I'm trying to get my food order in too at the
You
same
don't need
time.
to eat food.
I'm sorry.
You're on
so
that stupid
Caboose
diet.
Caboose Brewing Company in
Caboose.
Vienna, Virginia, came up with the Virginia Lager, 5.3% alcohol by volume. It comes in a goofy purple ass can, but
Purple haze, baby.
yeah, it's kind of a shitty label, but it is. It's a medium bodied style lager, but it's supposed to have a freaking crisp finish, and that's what we talk about on our show. We love a good finish. So let's, hear that. All right, here we go. First pour. Ooh, it is definitely a lager. It has an appearance of, go ahead, Biggs. It has an appearance of what looks like
Kind of looks like bourbon.
well, no, it looks like a traditional. It looks like Yingling lager, kind of.
It is a weird.
It's like a train.
It's like a hippie
It's like
can.
a train track.
It's like a hippie can.
Smells good.
Yeah, it does.
Well, coffee aftertaste.
Oh wow, that's really good.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that's very light. That's not overpowering or.
Oh, that's delightful.
It talks about a crisp finish.
That's crisp. And I like that coffee aftertaste. I like
Does have
that. I like
a
that.
freaking,
That's really good.
like a nutty finish, kind of.
Almost.
Is there anything on the label that talks about the finish or how it was crafted? Maybe something on the other side. There's like a little bit of writing on the side. It's got a kind of a.
I could drink multiple of those.
Well, that's what we talk about. We talk about is this one of those beers where you can drink more than one on a sunny Saturday afternoon? Are you going to go to a party
Absolutely.
and this beer's being served? Are you going to have more than one or two? Or are you going to freaking pound them until your face falls off?
That is wonderful.
I'm trying to finish mine, son.
Sorry, we're ordering Five Guys, and it's kind of a big deal. Nothing like drinking beer and ordering Five Guys, the American way. But that is delightful. Yeah, absolutely. It's smooth. It's 5.3%, so it's not like a.
Patrick, what the fuck is this doing?
What are you talking about?
I pressed the button and it said it jumped. I pressed it. Look, I'm trying to order burgers, and it jumped to 7
do you
different
think,
ones I
Vegas?
wanted. I like it.
What do you think, Viggs?
About this?
Yeah.
I like it. Like I said, I got that coffee aftertaste.
But that's not an overpowering. That's not an
No.
overpowering
No.
coffee finish or
It's
nutty.
just right. Like it's there, and it adds like a little bit more flavor than the water.
All I can say is Vienna Lager is going to be a tough one to beat right there.
That's a great start.
5.3% alcohol by volume. Traditional Vienna style lager. Medium body, crisp finish, well balanced, and I say, hell yeah.
That's right on the money.
They hit.
It's just the goofy ass label that's throwing
Yeah,
me.
well,
I probably
that's,
wouldn't. Here's the
it's-
thing.
it's
I probably wouldn't pick it up.
Yeah,
If I
'cause
I
it's
mean
kinda
straight up,
nondescript.
it's kind of plain Jane, and
Yeah,
it's like
it's
doesn't
Caboose-
draw me in.
It
Caboose
looks like
Brewing?
a sad lava lamp.
Yeah,
true.
It's like
It's
purple
good.
and blue.
It's good.
It's a shitty label put on a great beer, and I'm telling you, Caboose freaking Brewing, you better change your fucking label. But that's a great beer. So let's hit this next one. So once again,
Caboose.
I hit
It looks
Caboose twice. So we're gonna
Same
hit the
shitty
boost.
label.
This is called the Hobo Imperial Stout with vanilla bean, and I picked this one just simply because I like the dark
You're a
beers.
fucking
And
bean.
yeah, and I love these too. This
Wait till
is
you
a
see-
motherfucker. This is 8.0% alcohol by volume,
Oh,
but it's
Tuesday night, man.
it's got roasted coffee and molasses notes. It's got it's infused with vanilla bean, and it's full bodied and yet smooth. A little better label in terms of the coloring and stuff.
It's
but
still
the same-
shitty.
It's the same shitty wraparound label that they got.
it's like they were high
Um,
fucking making it.
So
and
the
all
malts
kinds-
are black caramel and chocolate crystal Munich roasted barley. There's a lot of shit in here. So let's open this thing up and give it a try.
Listen for it.
I got it. Oh, sounds like deliciousness. Oh, look at that.
Well, that's dark, buddy.
Yeah.
I ain't kidding.
Imperial
It's like changing
Stout.
your oil. Jesus Christ.
Look at that. Oh, it's got a great smell to it. It's a good, crisp smell. Not over foamy.
You can smell the that nutty.
Oh, wow.
Wow. She got a little strength at the end.
Yeah.
Now,
But
this is a
that's
stout.
where that caramel.
This is-
Yeah, it's an imperial
It
stout.
doesn't taste like a stout.
It does. It comes in at the end, and it's just got that caramel notes at the end. Hell yeah!
Well, what I really like about it is smooth.
Yeah,
you know,
it's very
that
smooth.
8% isn't overpowering.
Yeah, but
It's got that caramel. That's got that
Compared-
vanilla. That
compared to that
vanilla.
lager, though.
Oh yeah, well, it's a different style of beer,
I know.
but
I know.
Being a sissy.
the vanilla comes in at the end.
Hey,
that
you
vanilla,
have some things to say
that
about
caramel and vanilla comes in at the end, and I'm shit.
I think
What do you? That's
it's a
not
decent. Very,
no
it's a
shit.
decent-
I don't know if I would be chugging these.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Are we
Compared to
going
the
to a
lager.
party? Are we going to
No.
a party and we are going to have, and this is being served? Are we going to have more than one or two?
No.
Probably
I'll have one.
I'll have a tasting of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do a tasting like I'm doing right now.
But it's not like you're going to turn it away and go, "This is pure shit." No, you're not saying that because it's not. This is a good fucking beer. But at 8% alcohol by volume, you're not drinking 3-4 of these things because you'll end up face down on the fucking floor. This thing will knock you on your ass. But I really like that vanilla caramel at the end.
I'm thinking about this.
Yeah, I'm. See, well, CJ knows because I was never a dark beer guy for the longest time. You know, shit, I was a freaking Bud Light. You know, drink my Michelob Lights. I like the freaking simple beers. But over the course of time, I started to taste a few of these things, and I was like, holy shit, you can taste those vanilla notes. You can taste the caramel, the nuttiness or whatever. And you can smell that coffee infused kind of those notes. And so that's how I like it. I like this. But at 8% alcohol, shit, you're not too far away from NyQuil. It'll put you to bed. All right, number 3 is the oldest beer. This is Utica Club. This is a Pilsner lager, and it's brewed from the best quality malts, grains, and choice hops. Absolutely pure. This is the first beer. This is how old this shit is. This is the first beer sold in the United States since Prohibition, or after Prohibition. As soon as Prohibition, the 23rd Amendment ended, Prohibition was gone. 18th Amendment created Prohibition. 23rd freaking made Golden Deliciousness get up. Let's try this thing.
Much better can,
Bitter
by the
taste
way.
of roaring 20s in this thing.
I hope so. Look at that.
It's
Golden
light, buddy.
Deliciousness. All right, so what else do we have on here? First beer sold in America since
Looks like
or
a
after
true Miller.
Prohibition.
That's what
Yeah,
I was
it does.
thinking.
It does
It
have
does
that
look like a
Miller
Miller.
look to it. Still brewed in the same place since 1933.
Yeah, that's what
we'll
I'm talking
change the
about.
recipe the day after you stop drinking it. Gotta love that fucking tagline. What's our alcohol by volume? Is it on there? I don't see it.
It can't be more than 4%. 4 or 5.
I can't see it. You're gonna have maybe somebody can find it on the can, but it looks like wonderfulness. That smells like a freaking.
Yeah, I don't see it. CJ might have some luck.
What?
That's a good beer. That's good beer. If this was what they served at Prohibition, I'd have been a drunk motherfucker in 1930s.
Super light.
Yeah. It's crisp, no aftertaste, good solid finish.
Oh, wow. That's so... It just disintegrates completely, and that's very light.
I could
Oh
drink.
my
I could drink a few of these, buddy. These
No
could
wonder-
go down smooth.
No wonder Prohibition came about.
No
They were
shit.
pounding these
Because if
back.
they were still making this shit illegally, no kidding.
You know they didn't go out
You
of
don't like
business.
No, I was looking for the ABV.
I don't see anything.
It's
not on there.
I'm gonna look
You
it
know
up.
they didn't go out of business.
No, they didn't. That's not since 1933. That
Man.
is a good fucking beer.
All right,
That-
three
that-
good beers.
That doesn't. Wow. That doesn't
What's
taste
up?
like anything.
It's called Utica what? Utica?
Utica Club.
That's it.
Club? Is that
Yeah, there it
Club?
is.
Utica Club?
Three
Pilsner.
good beers tonight.
What?
And that's
70
coming
years.
from you, like
70
you with the
years.
stouts and
They've
the darker
been
beers,
making-
just
they've-
beer in general.
Yeah, it's because like I'm just tasting them. I'm not, fully drinking them anymore.
The
Look at you.
the Utica Bombers, baby, coming through.
Yeah.
You're going to see their company.
It is 5% alcohol by volume. Well, it's not over the top. But if I can find this shit somewhere,
I'd
I've been
drink it.
drinking
I'd
freaking
drink
Utica
it.
Club. So, okay, let's go back. Let's go back to Vienna Lager. And if you're drinking Vienna Lager and we always try to classify this thing. If we're talking about a Saturday in the spring or the summer where it's nice out and you got a nice gathering and you got a cooler full of beer and you've got Vienna Lager in there, are you drinking a handful of those beers because they're going down easy?
Yeah.
Hell
Yes.
yes. You're drinking this. The Caboose, the Hobo Imperial Stout, that's a good beer, but that's like a dinner beer.
That's a
Like,
fancy beer.
Yeah.
That's a dinner beer. I'm not saying that you're not going to drink a couple of them, but that's 8.0% alcohol by volume. You're not going to go out on a spring and a summer day, and you're not going to drink 5 or 6 of those bastards, or as many as you want. Look at you. You want another taste of
Yeah. I will drink about 6 or 7 of these
Right.
Utica clubs, though.
Right. But this isn't saying that the freaking Hobo
No,
Imperial is bad.
no,
By
it
no
just-
means
it's
is that
not-
bad. That's a dinner beer where I could freaking have that beer at dinner and I could have a couple of those and it freaking wets my whistle and gives me the freaking jag that I want without over the top.
Okay, well, the Utica Club,
But Utica
you can have
Club-
6 or 7 of those and be like, I'm good.
Dude, I'm ready for 7 and 8.
But if,
Or
if
9
you
or 10.
If you had 6 or 7 of the Hobo
Nah,
Imperial,
you'd be passed
you're
out.
kissing your toilet. I mean,
Yes.
you're having a
You're
long
going
night.
going face down and your shit is not happy. But yeah. So but
I think the lager, the Vienna lager, is like the happy medium. Like you went from really light, easy down. You can have 6 or 7 ready for 8, and then the stout is like, okay, if I had 2, I'm good. Like I got through dinner, and then the lager is like that happy medium where
well, I hate to
you
say
have 3 or 4 and you're satisfied, and you're good.
I hate to say this, but for the last 3 weeks, CJ, have we freaking even remotely come close to a bad beer in any way, shape, or form?
Really.
So let's put these up here. Let's rank these bigs. Obviously, you guys are loving Utica Club. So where are we going to put the Imperial? We'll put that at 3.
Yeah.
And then we'll go left on the podium with Vienna Lager, which was a good beer.
They're all good.
They're
all
all
great.
good.
They're all really good.
So let's get these bitches
It
on
just
here.
depends on your taste. If you're a heavy beer drinker or a heavier beer drinker, in terms of
Hey, there are
alcohol content.
full body beer drinkers who thoroughly enjoy the stout but the thing about this one is it has the vanilla and that caramel it just kind of softens the
It
blow.
softens it up. Exactly. Yeah.
But that's the thing is it's gonna reach up and grab you by the ass and put you face down on the carpet because you're not gonna have like.
It's gonna sneak up on you. As they
If you
say.
have two,
Yeah.
you're good. Two
Yeah.
and you're good.
And I say you would have 2 of those with dinner. With a nice fucking steak or something like that, hell yeah, I could freaking do. I could do freaking Texas Roadhouse with the big freaking 24 ounces, the 2 ounces. I could do that with that. I could do that, and then I freaking maul the shit out of a steak.
But that Utica Club,
Oh my goodness!
I can't believe how smooth that was. It's so
I think
crisp.
I'm going to find some
It's
more
so
of that.
light.
That's why they
That might
haven't
be
gone
a-
out of business since 1933.
It's 70 years, they said.
Okay, well, Coach.
Quote. What's
We'll
the quote?
change the recipe when you stop drinking our beer.
Oh, yeah, where? Yeah, there it is.
Now,
Yeah.
Coach,
What?
let me ask you this.
That one's empty.
In terms of the club,
Yeah.
does that compete with Honor Brewing? Your all-time
Different kind
favorite.
of beer. No, different
Your
kind of beer.
all-time favorite.
No, different kind of beer. No. You know what?
We
know
will
what?
change the
Ooh.
recipe.
No, you know what? You know what this competes with? You know what Utica Club competes with? The Narragansett beer that we had.
Really?
Narragansett.
Narragansett's really good.
And they're very similar in terms of their beers. That just has a great taste. It's a good full body beer, and
I
I,
might
really
like the
like.
club more than Narragansett.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I could still see it. I
Yeah.
like it. And the next time, because once again, CJ, we're gonna end this. But once again, if you don't get down to your freaking Total Wine and find the beer selection, there are 100 beers there, and I poured over them. Your mother and I were in freaking Total Wine for I don't know, about an hour. I looked over every beer they had. And I wanted to pull back some of my old favorites, some Antietam Brewery, freaking. I even pulled up my freaking one of my favorites. We're gonna pull out freaking a couple of breweries from. Well, we won't get into those. We won't get into them. Because I don't want to spoil it for the rest of the freaking shows. I'm just not, because I got a whole 6-pack of the one beer and it's just fucking phenomenal. And I don't know. We're not going to get into our favorites. So, CJ,
Yeah. Okay.
Utica Club seems to be a home run,
Are
dude.
we ready to move on to hops?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good stack of beers. And let's move on to hops and let's get out of here.
Yep.
So, I actually changed my mind. I'll save it for a shorter show because it's kind of long.
Okay.
So I'll save mine for a shorter show, so I don't have the hops tonight.
Patrick got a hop?
Yeah, I do. So we're sitting down to dinner last night, and I got an email from my school.
Oh, this is wacky shit.
Okay, so and
This is
it almost it started a debate.
I wanted a copy of this.
It was almost a debate.
You need to forward the email to me.
And so you know the whole coronavirus, COVID-19 stuff. It sucks, and we all don't like it. But let's be honest. You know we've been hearing it for almost a year now, and so our local university is helping out with distributing vaccines, and so they sent us students an email, kind of referring to them distributing the vaccines and how it's going and all that stuff. And, it kind of gave me a light at the end of the tunnel feeling for the first time, like a true one that, came from a local place, not just a president trying to get elected. And it says that, once you get the vaccine, that in terms of the university, you don't have to wear a mask, you don't have to social distance and all that stuff. And
it says in the fucking email that
okay,
you don't
so
have
it
to do
says
any of this.
after 10 days of receiving your vaccine dose, you no longer need to be a part of surveillance testing. You do not need to continue to wear a mask. You do not need to remain socially distant. And it's just that feeling. And we got a long way to go. I'm still a young gun. I'm a long way from getting the vaccine. Don't believe me. But it's that first light at the end of the tunnel where it's just like, this stuff could be coming to an end sometime, somewhat soon. And, that's that feeling that we've all been looking forward to, But that just gave me kind of like a feeling that at least some place close to home is like, let's start getting back to normal a little bit, and hopefully we're moving forward quickly with all this. But that's all I got. I kind of had to come up with it kind of quickly, but that was the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah. Biggs, you got anything? Mine's stupid.
So, due to the shortened NHL season, because they started now in January here, they're playing a 56-game schedule. They're playing realigned conferences. So there's a Canadian conference, an Eastern conference, kind of like a middle conference, and a Western conference, and they're playing only teams in their division 8 times. Literally. They're playing 7 teams 8 times. No intercrossing. I think that's insane how they're not like traveling. They're keeping everything on the West Coast, keeping everything in the central part of the U.S. and everything else on the western part of the U.S. Kind of mitigate the travel and all that, like you were saying here, Pat, trying to get things back to normal. And then like the Canadian conference, is made up of all the Canadian teams. But I just think it's kind of interesting how they broke it up this year and how they did it. And I think the other interesting part is they sold the naming rights to major companies for these divisions. So like Discover, Mass Mutual, and I forget what the other 2 were, but it's kind of crazy how they're selling naming rights to divisions. So look forward to the NHL to start selling naming rights, kind of like the NBA is, due to them losing money. So it's kind of crazy.
I don't know. I want to watch the NHL, but I just know I'm not going to be able to listen to Doc Emmerich's voice come playoff time.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
That's going to be hard. All right, Coach. You're
up. I got 3 really, really short ones. The first one is if you're not watching the Sappy show, it's funny, it's freaking poignant, it's
exactly
crazy.
what you're talking about.
It's The Ranch.
Oh, I love that
If you're not
show.
watching The Ranch
it's
on
hilarious.
Netflix, great fucking show.
Well,
Don't
Ashton
spoil
Kutcher,
anything.
I'm gonna
say
Ashton
they're still-
Kutcher, Ashton Kutcher, freaking.
Well, Danny Matheson, he had to leave because of that
he
controversy.
He ran into some freaking legal issues.
It's hilarious.
If you've
Yeah,
never
it's-
seen the show, imagine the pub, but like way more explicit, more beer drinking, and just
Not any more explicit than us, but more freaking beer drinking than what we do for
oh
the
my
show.
god, they drink so much beer on that
and
show.
beer and whiskey. But what a great show! I turned your mother onto it.
It's hilarious.
and she
I love
enjoys it. We're up to
Part 3?
Part
You on
three now.
Wow.
We're about halfway through part 3, and it's just Ashton Kutcher is. Well, shit, he's worth
Colt, baby. He's
Colt
Bennett.
Colt Bennett, baby. He's worth the money.
It's a
he's
great
just
cast.
Yes,
it's a great
it is.
story. It's hometown.
Alicia Cuthbert, baby.
No, all the women on the show.
The
they're
girl
just-
next door, baby.
They're
That movie.
all freaking beautiful women. It's just a good. The way they freaking wrap the story around the people, it just freaking makes it like, well, shit. I've heard that before. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good. What's his name? The patriarch, the dad. What's his?
Oh,
Sam
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Oh, beef.
That voice.
Beef. It's what's for dinner. Yeah. And so, there's just great characters and stuff like that. So if you're not watching The Ranch on Netflix, you bumped your damn head. Another show on Netflix. If you're not watching the history of curse words, you need to freaking get a lesson on what fuck, shit, bitch, and all the great words in our vocabulary are all about.
I'm about to
So
watch that.
you've heard of us saying fuck, and all
Shit.
all
Piss.
the great words.
Damn.
Dick is another one. Dick is another one. Yeah, if you're not watching that, and it's only like the episodes. There's 6 episodes, and it's only like 20 minutes each.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got what's his name from
Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage from this.
Oh,
Well,
From National Treasure.
Yeah, National Treasure, Fame, and all the other movies he's been in. Yeah, he's pretty good in that. And then finally, I was reading this stupid ass story about the freaking Oscar Mayer Wienermobile they're going to put together, they're going to pay a college student $30,000 for 1 year.
Drive the weenie mobile.
Yeah, they're going to drive the 27-foot fucking Wienermobile to 200 different events in 1 year, and they're going to pay that kid $30,000. He's going to get a salary, and it's going to be a college student. And I'm thinking to myself, if I just graduated from college and I have a fucking English degree, and I just say that, I just chuckle when I hear English major. I'm like, fucking wiener. I'm going to touch wieners.
Ask
I'm
me
ready-
about my wiener.
Yeah, I'm ready to freaking rub wieners. I'll fucking do that for $30K. Shit. I'll get in the big Wienermobile as long as it don't have any hair on it. How cool is that?
What if there's hair on the bottom of it?
Yeah, they should be down near the steering wheel or something. But no, how cool is that? Freaking Oscar Mayer is putting together a group. They're going to hire 27, I think it's 27 students, former college students. The driver is going to make $30,000 a year to do 200 stops for various events. How cool is that? Freaking Oscar Mayer's going all out. But that's my freaking 3 hops. So I got the ranch, which is pretty cool because they talk about fucking and all that good stuff. The history of curse words, which includes fuck. And then the Wienermobile, because it's the fucking Wienermobile. How cool is that? So those are my 3 hops.
Well, everybody, we have 3 weeks of football left. We got this week coming up next week to talk about what we can expect from the Super Bowl, and then the Super Bowl. And then it's done, people. Remember that football only comes for let's say 6 months most out of the year. So let's enjoy it for these next couple weeks. But hey, thanks for joining us here. We had some great beers. But Viggs, thank you for coming out again. And Pat, thanks for coming downstairs.
I'm going to say all I had to do was come downstairs, baby.
He had to just walk downstairs.
But until next time, guys, peace out. Love you.
See ya.